No matter how many mysteries history hides, the shadows of folklore hide far more terrifying truths. Double Banyan Trees, a small, quiet village. But at the entrance of the village stand two giant, strange, silent banyan trees. Since childhood, everyone has heard one warning. After sunset, no one should go near those trees. Why? Because people suddenly collapse there. Their bodies feel unbearably heavy. And sometimes screams can be heard. One evening, while playing cricket, everyone suddenly heard it. Someone thrashing inside the water. When they tried to pull the man out, many were injured. Some fainted. And 2 to 3 children lost their lives. But even more terrifying was this. The driver who stepped into the water was violently dragged down by something invisible. When the dried branches of the banyan tree were cut, one after another mysterious deaths began. A nephew, 2 villagers, all drowned in the same strange way. A spiritual leader was called. He said, "This place is not just impure. There are powerful jinn dwelling here." At night, when the prayers began, suddenly an inhuman scream came from the river. In flashes of light they saw, one after another, jinn rushing towards the fire and vanishing. The spiritual leader said, more than 1,100 jinn were trapped here. Even today, on new moon nights, cries drift from the river. The village remains cursed. People still fear the darkness, because under the shadow of those banyan trees, something is still there. In the previous part you heard, hundreds of jinn were trapped under the twin banyan trees of Double Banyan Trees. And though the prayers weakened the darkness, the curse was never fully broken. Because even now, on new moon nights, cries still echo from the river. For 40 days after the prayer, the village was peaceful. People thought everything was over. But just a week before the new moon, a new fear began. At night, a bluish glow appeared near the river, and someone could be heard crying. A 17-year-old boy from the village, let's call him Latham, was returning from the market with his friends. Suddenly he stopped by the riverbank. His friends asked, "What happened? Why did you stop?" Latham replied softly, "Can't you hear it? Someone is calling me." And then he began walking toward the river. In the blink of an eye, he vanished into the darkness. The next morning, villagers found footprints by the river. But they were not human. The prints were long, with unnaturally bent toes, and they led straight into the water. The spiritual leader was brought again. He looked at the ground once and said, "The one you're looking for is no longer human." Everyone shuddered. "Has he gone to the Jinn?" they asked. He sighed deeply and said, "No, he has been summoned by the force that lives in this river." He revealed that the river people thought was ordinary was actually an ancient graveyard of Jinn. 100 years ago, a terrible war between Jinn took place here. Many were buried under the riverbed. Their spirits still wander. The night before the new moon, Latham's mother heard crying outside and ran. She saw a shadow standing by the river. A shadow shaped exactly like Latham. She called out, "Latham, is that you?" The figure slowly turned. Its eyes glowed like blue flames, and in a cold, hollow voice it said, "Mother, why are you out here alone so late?" The woman collapsed unconscious. The spiritual leader said, "That was not Latham. It was a Jinn, one that takes the form of the dead, to lure new bodies. Its goal is simple: to drag humans beneath the river." On the night of the new moon, the villagers gathered by the river. The spiritual leader began the prayers, and the air around them grew heavy. Suddenly the river started boiling. Red, fire-like light flashed across the sky. Latham's blue-eyed shadow began rising slowly from the river. The spiritual leader shouted, "You are not human. Return in the name of Allah." The Jinn shrieked horribly, shot into the air, and burned into ash within a burst of light. The river went silent. But Latham? His body was never found. The spiritual leader told the villagers, "This war is not over, because beneath the river still lie the graves of more than 1,000 Jinn. To this day, on new moon nights, villagers never look toward the river, because they know someone will call their name." The story of Double Banyan Trees is not over. This is only the beginning.